Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into the wild world of the LAPD. Are you ready? Our three male leads are all LAPD officers, and it's Christmas, so the precinct is full of holiday cheer. Subtitles: Bud, a hero, and partner Al go buy drinks. Bud passes the police home. He spots the man committing domestic violence against his wife. Bud, who absolutely despises men who beat women, doesn't hesitate to give the guy a severe beating, shouting, "Touch her again, and you're in big trouble. They'll leave you trapped in crab meat. You know what they do to crab meat, right?" Next, Bud heads to the liquor store and spots a mysterious woman in black who catches his eye, and he nervously decides to hit on her. But she sees through his cop disguise and says, "Merry Christmas, officer. Your tattoo says it all clearly." Embarrassed, Bud leaves the store only to see a woman in a car with a bandaged nose. He thinks it's another domestic case, so he approaches the car, but the driver tries to shoo him away. But Bud quickly takes control. Turns out the driver is a former cop who got fired for corruption. Bud gives him no mercy and demands the man get out of the car for questioning, but luckily the mysterious woman intervenes, claiming they are all friends. Bud finally lets them go. Edmund, another lead, differs greatly. His dad was also a cop, but he died in the line of duty, earning a lot of respect. Now Edmund wants to be just like him. Despite his noble intentions, Edmund's been stuck behind a desk for years, but finally he aces the internal exam and decides to request a transfer to homicide. But Captain Smith doubts Edmund's abilities, thinking he can't plant evidence or handle tough interrogation techniques, let alone shoot a guilty man. Smith thinks he'd do better in another role. Edmund's persistence wins out, and we shift over to our third hero, Jack from the narcotics unit. Jack's a seasoned officer and a consultant on a Hollywood show, while also working with a gossip magazine that spills dirt on celebs. The magazine's editor feeds Jack leads on stars doing drugs, and Jack shows up to make the busts. Jack gets paid $50 for each bust, plus he makes the front page. So he and the editor have a great relationship. One eve, the editor brings him a lead on two young stars using drugs, complete with time and place just waiting for Jack to nab them. They go through the usual process and surprisingly manage to catch those two stars red-handed. Afterward, Jack discovers a business card at the male star's home, reading, "Pick from the French dynasty, clearly a small lad." He sticks the card in his pocket and heads back to the precinct, where he detains the two stars while Bud returns with his booze. Just then, some officers bring in 6 Mexican guys who violently resisted arrest and even attacked 2 cops. When Bud hears, everyone in the precinct is furious and wants to set things right. Bud's partner, Avi, leads the charge, and seeing this, Edmund, subtitle, he tries to stop it but is locked in a warehouse by colleagues. Jack, initially a bystander, finds himself smeared with blood and can't resist joining the brawl. In the heat of the moment, the holding cell turns into a knockout contest. 2 reporters captured the scene, and the next day, a headline read "Bloody Christmas." It hit the front page, causing a stir, prompting top brass to meet and discipline Avi, the ringleader. In order to minimize their own fallout, they bring in officers to testify against Avi, but Bud is the first to refuse. Not only is Avi his partner, Bud would never betray his brother. As a result, our big-hearted Bud gets told to stand down. Unlike Edmund believes Avi's actions were a violation, so he volunteers to testify and suggests punishing all officers who participated to show the public that the department zero tolerance is absolute. As a condition for testifying, he demands promotion to homicide chief, which the higher-ups accept. However, they still need one more witness, so Edmund suggests Jack. If Jack refuses, he could be in hot water with the Hollywood consultant gig. Sure enough, Jack falls quickly because he doesn't want to ruin his Hollywood connections. At night, Captain Smith approaches Bud, seeing his loyalty, and decides to sneak him back on the job, making him his right-hand man. Bud is now a muscle for Smith, who was dealing with the influx of gangsters wanting a piece of territory after Mickey's fall. Smith has the gangsters rounded up in a small room, telling Bud and his muscle to scare them off. They handle the outsiders, but the local gangs still stir up trouble, especially after Mickey gets arrested. His men start getting assassinated and his stash of drugs gets stolen. Meanwhile, Jack is temporarily assigned to Vice and they bust a few spots. But weirdly enough, they find custom magazines at those spots. Jack sees a symbol in these magazines that looks exactly like the one from the business card he found. So, he dials the number from the card. On the other end, they get suspicious hearing Jack isn't a regular and hang up on him. Back at the precinct, Edmund gets promoted to homicide chief, but because he's a whistleblower, everyone in the precinct disrespects him. Face-to-face smiles but gossip behind. Meanwhile, Avi, After getting fired, Scene's unfazed and even comforts Spud, hinting that he's onto something better. He tells Bud not to feel sorry, he's got a date with a new girlfriend tonight. At night, Edmund gets a shooting call while working late at the station. A shooting just went down at the city's Nighthawk Cafe. Edmund rushes to the scene and finds the owner has already kicked the bucket. Following the blood trail, he heads into the back restroom, only to find a gruesome scene with bodies everywhere. The case quickly draws police attention. Captain Smith arrives. Edmund wants to showcase his skills, but Smith takes charge, citing Edmund's inexperience. In credits. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.